start the show.
I thought that was a war cry, like the Amazons or something.
No, that was me trying not to die. Is that a war cry? Is that what a war cry is? Is trying not to die? Hey,
I mean,
Gothic.
Or trying to take your mind off of what's about to happen, I guess.
Well, and it's, when I was doing martial arts, they at least the type that I took, they taught you that the yells and the hi-yahs and all that it's more or less an intimidation tactic. So if you intimidate them, maybe you don't die. So it's multi-purpose. It's like an egg. It does a lot of things.
I was trying to scare my chair into not throwing me in the floor.
Exactly. And it worked, right?
Yeah. But yeah, Gothic, thank you for that 39-month resub. Snap. No Blues Clues? What? What does that mean?
Oh, did Steve regularly fall out of his chair?
Or the other guy? Or was he Steve too? I don't actually know who these characters are.
Oh, I don't know.
I've never seen an episode of Blue's Clues.
That's what you call Clues? I mean, Clues isn't on this show. Like, ever.
Yeah, that's not really part of the thing.
So, yeah, there's no Clues. Clues is welcome on the show whenever, but since this show's still mostly about magic, I wouldn't hold my breath. Thought he was here one time I was watching. I mean, he shows up on occasion. Squee was even in the chat last week, which is weird. Clues was here on Monday when I played Pizza Titan Ultra. Oh, ow! And then I hit my elbow.
Oh no.
That hurt. Okay, I'm okay. Hi. Hello. Okay, let me just sit here still and not move, because when I try to move, horrible things happen. I almost fall on the floor, or I break my arm or something. Jesus. Hey, McGimp. How you doing, buddy? Okay. You guys good to go?
Good to go.
I am.
Good. So before I hurt myself further, let's do this. Ow, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 619 of the Mana Pool, but no, unfortunately, we could not get Rey Mysterio to join us. Wrestling joke.
Oh, so that's not the villain from Spider-Man?
No, that's just Mysterio.
Oh. Is that short for Justin?
Yes. Even though that's not his name, which is why it's his supervillain name. What is Mysterio's name? Quentin. Yeah, there we go. Quentin Beck.
Yeah, Beck. Yeah, Beck.
I did not know that. Or if I did, I had forgotten a long time ago.
Have you seen Spider-Man Far From Home?
He has not.
No.
See?
As soon as you're done watching Supernatural, you need to go to the Blockbuster and rent it.
Oh my god.
Then you need to get back in your time machine and wonder how you rented a movie from the future. Anyway, this is getting out of hand. He's Chewy.
I'm Chewy.
I'm Brian. Yes, I'm Brian. I'm here to talk a lot. And with me is some Dirks. I mean, no, wait. No, there are no Dirks.
Yes,
That's
we are sans Dirk this week because Dirk had other stuff already planned. So it's just the three of us. We can make it if we try. Just the three of us. Y'all and I. Mike's here too.
Yes, I am, for what it's worth.
So, all of Strixhaven is up. Which means now they're doing Commander 21 freaking cards, but because they're doing that thing where the Commander set is like tied into they're doing it again this year where Commander set is tied into a set release and then it just comes out like at the same time.
Yeah.
Which luckily this time they didn't do like 2 days of normal previews and then a day of Commander previews and then finishing the normal set previews. Thank goodness, because that was dumb as hell.
That was confusing.
It was not great.
So yeah, we are talking about Strixhaven.
Yes.
We'll fool with the Commander cards later.
Yes.
Maybe, probably, possibly. So I should pull that up. There we go. Pull that up. I have it up. I should make it so the viewers can see it. So what are we doing this week? What's going on? Are there any mythics we haven't?
What about the Last Dragon?
Oh, let's do the Last Dragon. Yeah,
The Last Dragon and the Last Planeswalker too, right?
that's out on Disney Plus.
The Last Dragon.
Yeah, Raya and the Last Dragon. Isn't that what it's called?
I think so. I haven't seen it because it's on Premium.
Yeah, so. I'm not gonna pay $30 to watch a movie when it'll be out in like a few weeks.
I mean, we're already paying for the service, so
yeah, that too.
Yeah, so
the Last Dragon though is an excellent movie. Not Raya and the Last Dragon. I haven't seen, although I've heard it's excellent. But the Last Dragon is an excellent, amazing kung fu movie, and everyone should see it. It's a kung fu and a blaxploitation movie at the same time. And it's brilliant. Clues wanted me to see it so bad, he bought me the DVD and sent it to me so I would watch it. Which I did. And it's brilliant. It's got, who play Last Dragon? Who plays freaking... Hang on, I got it. I can't remember his name. Julius Carey is Sho'nuff, the Shogun of Harlem.
Huh.
And it is amazing. Am I the baddest? Sho'nuff. Am I the prettiest? Sho'nuff. Anyway. All right, back to this stuff right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there was one dragon that was not available or had not been previewed.
Yeah, Witherbloom.
When we were recording.
Mr.
Was it Witherbloom?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I haven't seen this yet, but...
So read it.
Okay. Belladros Witherbloom. Costs 5, a black and a green. So he costs 7, which I think the only other one that costs 7 is the red-white one. Mm-hmm. And this one's a 4/4 for 7. It's a 4/4 with flying for 7. It doesn't have trample or haste. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life, and that's like every school gets a signature token, right? And so that's it. So he's like a verdant force because each upkeep it's like a verdant force but with pests. So that's cool. Pay 10 life. Pay 10 life. Untap all lands you control. Activate only once each turn. Well, yeah, okay. That's a straight up activated Sword of Feast and Famine hit. Like the important part.
Yeah.
And he gives you guys to sack that when they sack, well, you can't sacrifice them like on their own, but when they die, you get life, so it offsets it. So I see now why his stats are a little because this is just stupid, and he's basically free the turn you play him.
Yeah.
You know, for 10 life, but still. And not to mention, and you know, this is nothing to do with how the card works, but that is some freaking sick art.
Yeah, he is pretty badass.
That is really cool. I like the feathers, the
Yeah.
feathered wings.
Yeah, and I love the callback. If it's not a callback to Verdant Force, it's still the like. For those that don't know, Verdant Force was like a staple in our play group for forever because in multiplayer, getting something like a token, each upkeep is a lot better than at the beginning of your upkeep do something that's boring. But when you're playing with like 8 people, like we were sometimes, Verdant Force is dumb and ridiculous. And so this is that, but they're pests, which, yeah.
Wasn't Verdant Force known as like the best creature in Magic for a long time because creatures sucked?
For multiplayer, yeah.
Or like the best fatty in Magic or something like that?
Yeah. One of the best reanimation targets for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate. Of course, he was also a 7/7, so.
Yes.
But yeah, Witherbloom is pretty awesome. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see another mythic right
Sweet.
here below it.
What is it?
And it's called Blot Out the Sky, which just makes me happy. I don't care what it does. It's called Blot Out the Sky. So for X, a white, and a black, it's a sorcery. Create X. What? Create X tapped 2/1 white and black inkling creature tokens with flying. Oh. And if X is 6 or more, destroy all non-creature, non-land permanents. Huh.
Huh.
Oh.
Non-creature, non-land permanents. I wonder how many people are gonna mistake that for a wrath, but still, I mean, that's really good.
I probably would have done it once. I'm pretty sure I did it in my head while we were talking about this right now.
I did it while I was reading it. Right after I read it, my brain clicked, but yeah. So yeah, that's cool. You summon so many inklings that they blot out the sky and destroy all the things.
Yeah, but even if like aside from the mass effect at 6 or more, I feel like for X and white and black, getting that many 2/1 2/1 creatures with flying is really good. They're only, I think they have to come in tapped because otherwise it would be dumb. But for that just to be X versus 2X or something, or to pump up the white and the black parts of the cost, this to me feels quite good. Probably why it's mythic.
As my parents would say, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the opposite of that is I don't like it.
Makes sense.
This is from back when they used to babysit one of my cousin's kids when she was way younger. And that would just be, she'd be like, I like it. Or I don't like it. And they picked up on that and it became part of their lexicon. Sort of like bad at this game. That is now also part of their lexicon, which I find hilarious. Where was that plane? Planeswalker is a double face card, right?
I think so.
All right.
Is it?
I haven't actually seen it. I just know that.
Yeah, I don't even think the Planeswalker is on the front, which is the confusing bit.
Huh.
Yeah, it's Mila, Crafty Companion.
Oh, okay.
So, hey, Mike, you haven't read a card. Tell us about Mila.
Right. So, Mila, 1 white, is a 2/3 legendary fox and is mythic. So, whenever an opponent attacks one or more planeswalkers you control, put a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. And whenever a permanent you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card.
I like that.
Very effective guard fox.
Yeah.
And the other side is a Luca Planeswalker. This is Luca Wayward Bonder. Is 4 red. It starts on 5 loyalty. +1 ability. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. If a creature card was discarded this way, draw 2 cards instead.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's awesome. -2. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of your next upkeep.
Ooh.
So it's like a sneak attack from your graveyard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last one, -7. You get an emblem with, whenever a creature enters a battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it
Get a
only
burst
gives
roll.
you that ability.
Yeah, it's like what is that? Warstorm Surge?
That's the
Warstorm
one.
Surge.
Yep.
Huh. Okay, so Luca is pretty good.
Yes. I kind of like the front part a little more. The fox.
I don't know about
Just-
more, but like she's
I guess
definitely a
from
good
my
puppet.
style of deck. Like, I like the whole, hey, Planeswalker. So the fact that that trigger ability puts a loyalty counter on all of your Planeswalkers is pretty good. And then it also, protects your stuff from being targeted, which that's giving me pretty good value. So I think I just like the front. It's subjective. I like the fox a little better, but Luca is also pretty nice. Discard 1 card to draw 2 if it's a creature.
Mm-hmm.
And then next turn punch your opponent with it?
Yeah.
Seems good.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell
Okay.
is that weapon he's got there?
I think he had that on.
Some kind of hook.
Yeah. Because he was in the military on
Corey.
Crap.
Ikoria.
There you go.
Yeah. And humans were not supposed to bond with monsters, and lo and behold, he bonded with a monster. And the evil general guy killed the monster to shake him out of it or whatever, and he decided that people were bad. And I didn't read the story, but my understanding is he kind of took what's the wrestling term, a heel turn, and started to become an antagonist, I think. So and Vivian had to beat him or something.
Hearing the words heel turn come out of Brian's mouth, it's just unnatural.
Booyah.
Okay, that's slightly more natural.
It is? Wow, okay. All right. Do we want to cover the rest of the modal double face cards since we're down here?
Did we read Jadzi?
She wasn't previewed yet.
I don't think so.
Why don't you tell us about Jadzi?
That's why I didn't recognize the Journey to the Oracle, which you might notice is the new backdrop here on the stream. So Jadzi, Oracle of Arcavios, whatever, is the plane where Strixhaven happens.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, for some reason, people got pissy. I never heard about this, but it was told to me later in the Manapool Discord, which you should totally join. That people got pissy because was it no, not Ikoria. One of the recent ones had a plane and a location in the plane that had the same name.
Okay.
That's what I said. I was like, we've had New York in this country for ever.
That's literally what I was going to say. Or there's Kansas City, which isn't even in Kansas, but we're allowed to do it, so okay.
It was Ixalan? Oh.
I guess the continent of Ixalan within the plane of Ixalan? Is that what people were talking about?
I don't know. Like I said,
Maybe.
that completely bypassed me. But
Okay,
apparently that's what chat just said, yeah.
Okay. I cannot understate how little that matters to me, but all right.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's why Strixhaven is the school, Arcavios is the plane. Well, that's not why, but that's why I brought it up. But okay, so Jadzi, Oracle of Arcavios, for 6 blue is a 5/5 legendary human wizard. Do what?
I said it's expensive.
Very good.
Yes.
So you can discard a card to return Jadzi to its owner's hand. Okay. That's actually really neat. And then the Magecraft thing, you know, when you cast your copy in instant or sorcery, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it by paying 1 mana rather than paying its mana cost. What? And if it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield.
I mean, this is why this costs 8.
Yeah, I'd say that's worth having to
you-
play an 8 mana creature first.
You have to pay
freaking
the 8 mana,
serious?
and then you have to play or copy an instant or sorcery spell. So it's 8 plus whatever. And then you still have to have at least 1 more mana. But then whatever is the top card of your deck is just like Journey to the World Tree is just like, here I am, and you're like all set.
But that's just the front part.
Jeez.
The back part is Journey to the Oracle for 2 green as a sorcery. You may put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield.
What?
Then, if you control 8 or more lands, you may discard a card. If you do, return Journey to the Oracle to its owner's hand. Oh my
Wow.
god.
That feels a whole lot like it's not as good, it's not the same thing, but it feels a lot like get it I can see it. It's got the busted mechanic and Mike likes it a lot. Get
That does not
lands
narrow it down.
from your
Life from the loan.
Life from the Loan, yes.
Not
Except
really.
I know it's not the same. It just has a similar feeling to me.
This is more vomit cards on or lands onto the battlefield and then put this back in your hand so you can play Jadzi herself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Plus,
All these
discarding
time-
a card to save her from stuff is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So often with these, we've talked about, this card is okay, the other side of it is all right, but when you have both, it's really good. And this actually sets you up to do that. It feels a little bit like the Blue God from Kaldheim, where you play it as the bird and then it goes back to your hand to then later play as the god side. So this almost enables you to play it correctly, which I like. Yeah, that's neat.
Like, this is the only of them, the double face cards that I've seen that, like, you play one and then you play one side so that you can play the other, and that's built in, and it even gives it back to you so you can play the other side next turn. Like,
Yes.
that's cool. Okay.
All right. Oh, we got a cute guy here.
Why, thank you.
This is called Blex. Vexing Pest. Is it a pest? It's actually a pest. It's a legendary pest. They wasted no time in making a legendary pest so everybody can build their pest decks. I assume. What's it do? For 2 and a green, it is mythic. It's legendary pest. It is a 3/2, so it's bigger than the 1/1s. Other pests, bats, insects, snakes, and spiders you control get +1/+1. Oh, it's the Orchid Man's worst nightmare. When Blex Vexing Beast dies, you gain 4 life because he's a giant pest. Pests are typically harvested before they outgrow their enclosures. Blex is far from typical. That's great. That's great. I love it. What's the other side do? It's a sorcery. It is called Search for Blex. They're like, he got out
Here,
again.
Blex.
for 2 and 2 black. It's a sorcery. Of course, it's mythic because it's it's not going to be mythic on one side and not the other. That would be weird. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put any number of them into your hand and the rest of them into your graveyard. You lose 3 life for each card you put into your hand this way, Mike.
Yeah. This makes me think of, what was it called? Was it called Moonlight Market? What the heck was it?
Moonlight Bargain?
Moonlight Bargain. Yeah.
Yeah, I played with that card quite a bit.
The card rules.
Yeah, this is cool.
So, yeah. I like it, and I like that. So before people can even ask, okay, we like pests. Is there going to be a legendary pest? Like, yes, here it is. I don't complain. I like how it's all of these creature types that would also be considered nuisances. Neat. I see a couple more double-faced cards that were not available last week.
Okay. Which one?
Well, there's a Cauldron.
Yeah, the Pestilence Cauldron is one of them. It's another black and green one. Front side is an artifact that costs 2 and a black, and it's rare. It has 3 different abilities. Tap and discard a card. Create a pest with all the blah, blah, blah that we've mentioned before. Pay 1 and tap. Each opponent mills cards equal to the amount of life you gain this turn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Pay 4 and tap. Exile 4 target cards from a single graveyard. Draw a card.
Huh.
And it's repeatable. I mean, as long as there's the cards to exile.
Yeah, so you can make pests, you can mill people, and it can even be act like a little JMD tome if you need it. The other side is a sorcery. It's a green sorcery called Restorative Burst. Costs 3 green. Return up to 2 target creature, land, and or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each player gains 4 life. Exile Restorative Burst.
Huh.
That's a neat card.
That is
Interesting that it shares the life gain.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm not. That's not a complaint. I appreciate anything that makes you think a little bit. It could be like the colorless spell we saw earlier, the Explore the Vastlands, where everybody also gains 3 life from that. But
yeah. Anyway, an effect like that is meant to be more of a, it costs 5. You get stuff, it's recursion, you get some life. That's meant to be more of a control-y card anyway.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're giving your opponent 4 life. You're going to get them eventually.
Yes. But getting 2 things back, that's really good. And that's a wide variety of things. Cool.
That's a neat card. I don't know if I like it, but it's neat. Well, the backside is clearly good. I just mean, like, on the whole, it's a very strange card.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we have a Selfless Glyph Weaver that we haven't talked about. Selfless Glyph Weaver. That's hard to say. For 2 and a white, it's a rare 2/3 human cleric. And you can exile Selfless Glyph Weaver to give creatures you control indestructible until end of turn. Buh!
Just straight up. You're not touching them.
And then the backside is Deadly Vanity. Look at that art. Huh. Deadly Vanity for 5 and 3 black.
Wow.
Says choose a creature or planeswalker, then destroy all other creatures and planeswalkers. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right. So one side, someone sacrifices themselves to keep everyone else alive, and then the other side, one person is the last one standing.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. That's cool. Yeah. Okay, what else we got?
Did we see Torrent Sculptor? I think we did.
Yeah.
I thought we did.
Yeah.
That was from
Okay.
the first time.
Yep. Then that is all of the double face cards.
Yeah.
We did Revel in Silence. Did we do Augmenter Pugilist last week? Yeah, we did.
I
Okay.
thought we did. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, I just flipped it over and was like, yeah. All right. So, are there more mythics? Are there any mythics in the lands? They're not.
No.
Is there any in the artifacts? There are not. Oh, there's one in colorless we haven't done.
There is. It's called Mascot Exhibition. Okay. For 7 mana. It is a sorcery. It is a lesson, so it can be searched out when you learn. Create. Oh, well, here you go. Create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying, a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token, and a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. Oh, for a second there, I thought it would also make like a pest and a. What are we missing? A pest
Fractal.
and a fractal.
Of course, the fractal would just die immediately because it's a 0/0.
Yeah, it would need a plus, and the pest would have a lot of text, so there might not have been enough.
There might not have been room.
Yeah.
So for 7 mana, you get a 2/1 with flying, a 3/2, and a 4/4. Okay. I don't know that it feels super mythic-y. I mean, it's not bad.
Well, it's a mythic lesson. Every lesson is going to be at a rate that's more than you would expect to pay for the effect normally, because you can just draw it whenever you want to.
Right. That is absolutely correct. I didn't think about that. So
I mean, it's also colorless.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can drop this into any like there was a discussion in the Discord when some of these were first shown that like expanded anatomy doesn't seem to fit because for 3 mana you get 2+1/+1 counters and vigilance until end of turn in colorless, which is a lot for 3 mana with no colors.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest are cheaper. Like, I don't think we've talked about any of these. Introduction to Annihilation costs 5, and you exile target non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card. That's a little pricey, and it gives your opponent a card. Environmental Sciences for 2 mana. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle and gain 2 life. And then I guess I'll read the last one. Introduction to Prophecy for 3 mana. Scry 2, then draw a card. These are all sorceries, they're all lessons, and they're all colorless. And they all seem not great for the mana cost. At least the common ones. Except for Expanded Anatomy, which, like I said, seems pretty good for 3 mana.
Yeah, it is.
But then Mascot Exhibition is... Yeah, it follows the pattern. It's not great for its mana cost. But it's a lesson, and it's colorless, so yeah.
And it gives you a decent amount of bodies, so...
Yeah, it's also just build a board, just straight up.
Need a board? Now you got one.
Here, have a board. You'll like this board. It's not free. Never mind. Okay. Mythics here. That's a dragon. We did that one. That's a dragon. We did that one. That's a dragon. We did that one. Hey.
If we're going from the bottom, the next one I see that we haven't covered is called Magma Opus. Huh.
Okay, I love the art already. All right, what's it do?
I hadn't read it yet. But I just took one. So, Mike, what's this do?
Right. Magma Opus. There it is. Magma Opus is a mythic instant that costs 8. 6 blue and a red. It deals 4 damage, divided as you choose among any number of targets. You tap 2 target permanents. You create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, and you draw 2 cards. And you could also, so the cost is 2 blue-red hybrids, and discard Magma Opus to create a treasure token.
Huh.
So if like on turn 4 you're like, yeah, it's going to be a while, you can just get a treasure instead.
This is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Huh.
It's whatever you need it to be.
That it also trips me out that it doesn't spell out what a treasure token is, but it's also a mythic, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
All right. Magma Opus is pretty neat. We did Hoffrey, we did that. Oh, we didn't do Harness Infinity. Did we? Did we do Harness Infinity?
I don't know. I don't think we did.
I think Mike should take this one too.
All right, sure. Harness Infinity is also a mythic instant that is expensive. 1 black, 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 green, green, green.
Whew.
So a 7 mana mythic instant with an enormous color requirement. Exchange your hand and graveyard. Exile Harness Infinity.
Isn't that Morality Shift?
Morality Shift switches your library and graveyard.
Ah.
Harness Infinity stuffs all of this directly into your hand.
Yeah, so we have said from time to time, you know, sometimes your graveyard can just be another hand. And this takes that and makes it a literal thing.
Yes.
Okay. And yes, for the record, this is a Mike spell.
Yeah, and it kind of needs to be an instant so that you're actually able to pay the cost of it and don't just immediately have to discard a bunch of stuff without being able to use it. So you can cast it at the end of, the previous person's turn, and then you have, all your lands and everything ready to play all the cards that you just picked up into your hand when your turn starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that being an instant is really trippy. You know what you do is you play your Beladros
Dream
Witherbloom.
Oh, sorry.
And then you untap all. Yeah, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, you untap all of your land, and you play Harness Infinity. And then it's your turn, and then hilarity ensues.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hilarity.
I mean, you'll find it
I kind of feel bad about saying Dream Halls just now because I'm pretty sure that's going to be a thing.
Wow, Mike, you're a dick.
Yeah.
That's okay. We still love you.
Okay, thanks.
Well, Chewie does. I love you too.
I mean, sort of. Okay, any more Blot Out the Sky? Okay, that's all of the mythics in multicolor. We have a couple of requests from the chat.
All right.
The first one I saw was Culling Ritual, like, way ever ago.
Culling Ritual.
That's also in multicolor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for 2 a black and a green, it's a rare sorcery that says destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less, and add a black or a green to your mana pool for each permanent destroyed this way.
Wow. So that's an answer to aggro decks. Like, oh, good, you spent the first couple turns setting up your board. It's all gone now.
It's also good against token swarms, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how much mana do you need to get from this for it to feel worth it? I'm thinking it's only like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'd say 1. And I
Yeah,
feel
see?
like I got a fair amount. Got something fair for the mana, the net mana I spent.
So that's pretty cool. Like, I really like that. Yeah.
Well, no, never mind. 1 doesn't. No, I would feel bad about 1 because then I'm spending 3 mana to kill one thing that costs 2 or less. Yeah. 1 would be disappointing.
Yeah, so 2 is like your baseline, and anything from there up is just like, whoo!
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian, it was requested that you read closing statement because,
Because I'm a
Lawyer.
lawyer, I'm typecast. That's cool. So, closing statement for 3, a white and a black, which I do think that what's this school, the Inky school,
yeah, the Inkies.
is kind of up my alley. So for, again, 3 white and black for an uncommon instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast during your end step. I love it because that's that's when this happens. And it also means you're committing a little more because you're not doing it during an opponent's turn. So, destroy target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. In conclusion,
That's really cool.
you don't need to keep going because you're blasting them in the face. So,
In conclusion, blah!
I might just use that for my next closing statement. I'll just stand up and I'll be like, in conclusion, and I'll sit back down. And that may be more intelligent than some of the closing statements I have made in my life. So,
But
okay.
I do like that this is a 5 mana instant, but if you use it at this one specific flavorful time, it only costs 3.
That's a good deal for 3.
That is a sick deal for 3, yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, hell yeah. And there was one more in red. At the beginning. Whoop, I can't tell colors. Hang on. Ardent Dust Speaker. Oh, there it is. Just because it's a Minotaur. So here we go. Ardent Dust Speaker for 4 and a red is a 3/4 uncommon Minotaur Shaman. Whenever it attacks, you may put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. And if you do, you exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Oh. I was like, that doesn't sound like a very good deal. And then got to that last bit, and I'm like, no, that's way better.
No, see, you exile the top 2 cards so you can get to the card you just put on the bottom faster.
Yeah, totally. Shut up, Mike. Okay, so yeah, that's a neat design there. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Those are all the requests we have at the moment.
I saw a card that I think looks really interesting.
Which one?
So Mike, in multicolored, in the D's, it's called Demagoth Titan.
Yes.
Did you see this thing?
I did see it.
Yeah.
This is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, the Demagoth Titan costs 4 black-green hybrids, so a total of 4 mana. It's a rare demon. It's an 11/10 for 4 mana.
For 4 mana.
For 4 mana.
And Hearthstone lost its mind over a 4 mana 7/7 years ago.
I know, yeah. Whenever Demogoth Titan attacks or blocks, sacrifice a creature.
Now notice it doesn't say another creature.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's menacing. Did you see the flavor text?
Oh, yeah. So, this is Professor Onyx saying this. Of course it offered you power. Demons always do. But trust me, the sweeter the prize, the more ruinous the price.
Now, Professor Onyx, how could you possibly know that?
Are you speaking from personal experience?
Have I ever told you how I got these scars?
What scars? Does she still have them? I don't know that she does.
I thought that it looks like she does in the art.
You know what? Detention. What the hell color is Professor Onyx? She's black, right?
She's black.
Let's see here. There was
I
something.
have to zoom in, but okay.
I don't know if it was art from her card or from some key art or whatever, but I saw.
I mean, she
I clearly
clearly.
saw lines marked on her face still.
Well, she does in the what is that lesson where she's like looking into the mirror, confront the past, but that's her previous self. So
Hang on, I'm checking the variants. There are too many variants.
I'm certain I saw it.
Yeah, the Professor Onyx variant, she's got... It looks like she's got some of the glowing bits on the exposed skin.
I'm certain in the blown up picture of the regular art I saw it too.
Probably. It's just we can't tell at this scale.
okay. All right.
So there's a cycle of cards that I want to talk about.
Is it the masteries?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't guess.
Because that's also a cycle of cards. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. Right next to the Demogoth Titan, there's the Demogoth Woe Eater.
Whoa.
You're both fired. And it's got a really unique mana cost of 1, a black-green hybrid, and a green. Brian had not noticed this.
No. I mean, okay, so it's the black on the one side and the green on the other, so I kind of get it, but it still feels weird that the hybrid is in the middle. Okay?
Yeah, but that's where it belongs.
Yeah, it's a nice bridge.
Yeah. And there's a whole cycle of cards that have this mana cost set up, but Brian couldn't handle it. He's throwing stuff in the floor. So yeah, it costs 4. How you pay that for is, varies.
Largely up to you.
Yeah.
But it's a 7/6 uncommon demon for 4 mana. Ooh, 4 mana 7/6. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature, and when you sacrifice Demogoth Woe Eater, each opponent discards a card. You draw a card, and you gain 2 life.
Oh.
Wow, so it's a 7/6 with an upkeep cost, or it's a 4 mana delayed disruption card? And card draw? And life gain?
Yeah, I mean, you get a little something refunded after you choose to sacrifice it.
It stands in the way for a turn. And then next turn you crack it for stuff. Or if you want to hold on
I
to
think
it,
I'd
you
rather have a
sacrifice.
7/6 unless I was forced not to have a 7/6.
Yeah.
Then
It
you
makes me
sack.
think of. Keep going.
I was gonna say then you sack your pests instead, and keep it around.
Yeah.
What does it remind you of?
It makes me think of Limdol's Paladin. It has that upkeep cost of discard a card, but then if you don't, you sacrifice it and you draw a card. So it gives you a little something back if you don't want to keep it around.
Yeah, like if something
And
goes
I think
horribly
that's
wrong and your opponents kill the rest of your stuff before your upkeep, you're like, well, I guess I'll just draw a card then. Darn. That's a really cool card, though. I don't know if I've ever seen a design quite like that.
Okay, so you said that this was.
There's a cycle.
was
It
a
takes
cycle?
a while to scroll to the next one.
Okay.
But yes,
Oh, what is the next one then?
the next. Oh, I already lost it. Where'd it go?
Nah. Oh, it's
It
the Maelstrom
is-
Muse.
Yes. The Maelstrom Muse is the blue-red one. So it has that funky mana cost. It's a 2/4 Djinn wizard with flying. And whenever Maelstrom Muse attacks, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn costs X less to cast, where X is Maelstrom Muse's power as this ability resolves.
Huh. That's cool.
Okay, wait, what? When it attacks? Oh, when it attacks. Okay, my brain deleted that part. I was like, what do you mean
So-
it's power? What? Okay.
So this actually benefits from what was that ability from Bant where it really wanted you to attack alone?
Exalted.
Exalted. So if you have an effect that when this creature attacks, it gets stronger or whatever, or the opponent says, oh yeah, well, while that's on the stack, I'm going to shrink it, perhaps, literally cast shrink against it, then it will use whatever the power ends up being when all that is done. Okay. That's interesting.
That is
while you were
also really neat, yeah.
Since you mentioned they were kind of spread out, while you were reading that, I skipped ahead. Looks like the next one is the Quandrix Cultivator. And
Turtle Druid!
It is a Turtle Druid. It's uncommon. It's a 3/4, and for 1 generic, a green, a blue, and a green-blue hybrid. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic forest or island card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So, does not get stuck in your hand, goes directly to the battlefield, and does not necessarily enter the battlefield tapped. It does say basic, though.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't enter the battlefield tapped because you can only get a basic one. Unless your opponent has something out to make it enter tapped, in which case, damn.
And in which case, this doesn't specifically say untapped. So, yeah. But yeah, I like it.
Like a 3/4 and tutor up a free land when you play it for 4 mana? Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Turtle Druid!
Is it a hero and a half shell?
Possibly.
Mm.
How old is it? Is this Quandrix Cultivator a teenager?
Tonight I dine on druid soup.
Teenage Mutant Druid Turtle.
We're silly.
I hate myself. All right. Next one? Last one? How many was that?
That was 3.
I think that was just 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's this one that's a. I don't know.
So they don't all cost 4. Okay.
Oh, they don't. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So returned past caller. Wow, that's. I don't like the name. Returned past caller.
Past caller.
So for 3, a red, white, and a white. It's a 4/2 flying spirit cleric. And when it enters the battlefield, return target spirit, instant, or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Huh, okay. So that works with... There are several cards that deal with spirits. in the set
Yes.
that I've scrolled past, and it also works like in limited
Especially
with your.
in the. I was going to say, especially in the lore hold.
Yeah, but
It's cool.
because it grabs instant and sorceries, it also works well with your Magecraft stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For 6 mana though, whew, maybe.
6
I mean,
mana for a 4-power flyer and get something back from your graveyard. Yeah.
Oh, it does have flying. Right.
and you can pull the. You can tell
Yeah.
I'm not quite with it. Come on, the classic zombie that gets a creature back from your graveyard. The
Gravedigger. Yeah.
Gravedigger. You can do the classic Gravedigger getting Gravedigger trick back, especially in limited. If you get 2 of these back, even the flavor text hints at it. You can just chain these.
Lorehold spirit statues are not forbidden from raising statues of their own. Ha!
And a 4/2, again, especially in limited, that flies, is going to block and destroy a lot of stuff.
Play a
And
pass
then you got-
color, get my pass color back. I can
Yep.
hear someone saying that to me now and going,
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be annoying. Yeah, I still don't love the name, but yeah, I mean, they can't all be winners.
It's
There's only
true.
so many ways to say, calling from the past.
Yeah. There's only so many ways to say go get a card from your graveyard and put it in your hand.
Yeah.
All right, the last one is right below it, two rows down, and it only costs 3.
Hmm.
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 Okay, that's the Shadewing Laureate. For a white-black hybrid and a black, it is a 2/2 human warlock with flying. Whenever another creature you control with flying dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Wow, I think I like this one a little better.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool.
This seems, I mean, a 2/2 with flying for 3 is already not crazy, but is fine. But can grow itself, or importantly, grow something else if you've got maybe a dragon or something you want to grow instead.
And the token for the silver quills is a 2/1 flyer.
Yeah, the Inklings.
Yes.
Yeah, that's neat. Okay. You know when Brian said they can't all be winners, talking about names? There's a card called Square Up. But it doesn't mean square up in the way I thought it did. For 1 and a green-blue hybrid, it's a common instant square up. But what it does is target creature has base power and toughness 4/4 until end of turn. It gives them square stats.
Gives them square stats.
Instead of like a fight effect, which is what I was expecting from square up. But or I expected it to add like 50 games full of really complicated and nonsensical backstory. Yes, that was a Kingdom Hearts joke. Shut up. But yeah, there are a lot of really good names in this set. Like Rip Apart. How have we never had a card called Rip Apart?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or Humiliate.
There's a Humiliate in this set?
There's a Humiliate in the set.
Is that blue?
I saw it earlier.
Sounds like white.
It's white and black.
Oh. Rip Apart, though, real quick. For a red and a white is an uncommon sorcery. Choose one. Deal 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact or enchantment.
That's a good card.
That's a very good card. There was a discussion, one of those nerdy well, actually, discussions in the Discord about Rip Apart. It was like, well, actually, it should have 4 bullets.
Why?
Well, choose one. Rip Apart deals 3 damage to target creature. Or Rip Apart deals 3 damage to target planeswalker. Or destroy target artifact. Or destroy target enchantment. My response to that was to not get involved, because that sounds dumb. And also would clutter up the card Something Fierce.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have flavor text.
It's not required to have...
No, the bullets are batching the major concepts together.
Right.
Yeah.
Deal 3 damage to something or blow that up.
That's not.
It's a lightning bolt. Not a lightning bolt. It's basically a whatever lightning bolt it can't hit face, or disenchant.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get the concepts.
Yeah.
Not everything has to.
But like, I can see where you would see that and be like, well, they have all these bullets on other cards, but like, no.
Yeah, like if all 4 effects were much more distinct from each other.
Yeah.
Right. If it was deals 3 damage to this thing, or you gain 3 life, or you draw a card, but the first part is literally deal damage to one of these things that you choose, and the second one is you destroy one of these 2 categories of things.
Yeah.
I feel like adding those extra bullet points would actually be counterintuitive. So I think it would honestly make it a little easier to make a mistake, because maybe you hit somebody in the face with it and then you're like, oh wait, that wasn't.
Also, we've already got the commands that have 4 bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So you mentioned Humiliate. Oh, there is a card called Humiliate.
Well, yeah.
How do
I wouldn't make it up.
How have we not had that? What's that do?
For white and a black, it's a uncommon sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand and you make fun of them. Then you choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control.
I like this too.
Yeah, that's good.
There was some. I think it was white and black. Removal spell that felt very like how they'd never done this before.
Fracture?
Not Fracture, was that it? Quite possibly. Fracture.
Yeah, I just read it and went, huh.
Yeah. Well, what's it do?
For a white and a black, it's an uncommon instant that says destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker. What?
Yeah.
And I like the flavor on it, too. Extasnar. It's an Extasnar quote saying, your defiance is amusing, little mage. It's time you learn how fragile you really are. Oh, so exciting. Is Extus going to be a good villain? I hope Extus is a good villain.
I hope so, too.
I like good villains.
Hopefully he's not one and done. Did you see Divide by Zero? Because it makes my head hurt.
No, that was just brought up, though. Where is that?
It's in blue. It's mono blue. Mike, read Divide by Zero.
Divide by Zero. For 2 and a blue, it's an uncommon instant. Return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand. And then you learn.
So, I guess that the qualification in the first part is not for this set, because I haven't seen anything that is free. And so I just was, is this...
Well, I mean, it's so you can't bounce lands.
Oh, it doesn't say non-land permanent, does it? Oh, okay. Yeah. I read that.
It's opening that up a bit more.
Okay. It was
also
not...
I think they probably did that because so you can't like cast a 0 mana spell and then divide by 0, and then cast it again, just like to build up a storm count or something silly like that.
Okay. I knew there was a reason for it, but I did not. My puny little brain didn't know what it was. So I'm glad you explained it to me. I did not. It did not even occur to me that it didn't say non-land. So okay.
They could have done it that way. They could have said target spell or non-land permanent, but I don't know why.
Well, but now by doing it this way, like I said, now it has more application, and by doing it, it has to cover. It already covers lands, so because lands don't have a cost. Okay.
And then
I'm gonna talk about.
Don't forget, then you learn.
Then you learn. I want to talk about the masteries.
Okay, what's a mastery?
A mastery is apparently an instant or sorcery. Maybe they're all sorceries. I'm not sure. That you can pay for normal, or you can pay for cheaper. Like, what if it costs 2 less? And so there's one in each color. But since we're at divide by 0, I'll just talk about Ingenious Mastery because it's right below it.
Damn it!
So, what?
Already scrolled up to the white one. Okay, go.
Okay, so Ingenious Mastery for X and 2 and a blue. It's a sorcery. It's rare. I think they're all rare. You may pay 2 and a blue rather than pay this spell's mana cost. So if you do that, then you're just paying X. If the 2 blue cost was paid...
No, you're just not paying X.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
It's not 2 and a blue less.
I thought it was you may pay... Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. We can knock out the... I read that backwards, so I was like, oh, wow, cool, this can be colorless. It can't be colorless. That's my bad. If the 2 blue cost was paid, you draw 3 cards, then an opponent creates 2 treasure tokens, and they scry 2. If that cost wasn't paid, you draw X cards.
Huh. So you either get something good or... like for expensive, or you get not great for cheap.
Well, the difference is, I think, with these, if you do the cheaper version, I think your opponent gets a benefit.
Yeah, but for here, the cheaper version is drawing 3 cards for 3 mana, which is...
That is true.
Kind of nuts.
That is pretty nuts.
Which is why they get 2 treasures and scry 2.
Yeah.
Which is a lot to give an opponent.
Yeah. That 2 treasures and scry 2. But then you're drawing 3, so maybe this was a bad one to start with, because this one's kind of crazy. What's the white one?
And what do treasure tokens do again?
I don't know. It doesn't say. You can sacrifice them each to produce a mana of any color.
Oh, speaking of tokens, we got a comment in the chat going back to talking about divide by 0. Divide by 0 also can't target tokens.
Oh, that's true.
It can't divide. It can't target tokens that don't have a value. Yeah. Some tokens have value.
Yeah, some. Yeah,
but those are like
those are pretty rare.
Things. Yeah,
copies of things. Mm-hmm.
All right, so Devastating Mastery is the white one.
Okay.
For 2 and 4 white, it's a rare sorcery, but you can pay 2 and 2 white instead if you prefer. If you pay 2 and 2 white, an opponent chooses up to 2 non-land permanents they control and returns them to their owner's hand. What? Oh, okay. And then the full text is destroy all non-land permanents. So, if you pay the cheap one, they get to save 2 things before you destroy all non-land permanents. But if you pay the full price, they don't get to save 2 things.
It's just a wrath. But, well, it's a wrath that destroys all non-land permanents, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, why would you pay that to make your opponents pick 2 things up? Thinking that it was formatted like the other one.
Yeah.
But it is not formatted like the other one.
Should not have started with the blue one. Didn't realize that was going to be a problem.
This one is really cool.
Yeah, I had only, I think, read the white one and the red one. So
Because, like, you either get your 4-mana Wrath, and sure, your opponent gets to save 2 things, but they then have to actually replay those 2 things, which will cost them some, well, it doesn't really cost them tempo exactly, but this way you know what you're going to have to deal with in the near future. Or you just wait till you get to 6 mana and just blah. I really like the design of this card.
yeah, that's a good one.
All right, and the blue one is weird.
The blue one is weird.
And the black one, oh, it's right here. What's the black one do, Mike?
Pretty straightforward. Baleful Mastery is an instant. Has a regular cost of 3 and a black, but you can pay 1 and a black instead. If the 1 and a black cost was paid, an opponent draws a card. Exile target creature or planeswalker.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's really sick for 1 and a black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like,
I mean,
sorry, I exiled your planeswalker. Here's some gold.
I mean, I would probably play that period for if they made an instant, which they just did with this, that says for 1 and a black, exile target creature or planeswalker, its controller draws a card. I would probably play that like a lot.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
And this just happens to be like, hey, by the way, if you happen to have the extra 2 generic mana, they just don't draw the card. This feels really good. Like, yeah.
I like it. You know what I don't like? Brackish Trudge. So let's go to red.
What, you don't like a fungus beast?
Is it a fungus beast? I just saw the name and went, no.
It is a fungus beast. I don't even know what it does, but okay.
Okay, Fervent Mastery.
Fervent Mastery.
Is the red one.
So for 3 and 2 red, you may pay 2 and 2 red rather than pay the spell's mana cost. So it's literally a difference of a generic mana. If the 2 and 2 red cost is paid, an opponent discards any number of cards, then draws that many cards. Search your library for up to 3 cards, put them into your hand, shuffle, then discard 3 cards at random. So it's a gamble.
Yeah.
But if you do the cheaper version, the opponent gets to be like, hey, these are cards I don't need, toss them. They have a little bit more of a control because they're picking up front what they want to discard.
Yeah.
This card makes my head hurt.
And sometimes your opponent's just going to be like, no, I'm good.
Huh.
One neat thing with this is that, there's nothing stopping you from getting 3 copies of the same card and just trusting that you don't discard all 3 of them.
Yeah.
This card makes my head hurt. Because the difference in cheap cost and expensive cost is 1.
Yeah.
But then you might not get anything for your 5 mana. If your luck is as good as mine.
Yeah.
Although, I guess if you're planning on making your opponent discard cards, you could do it for 2 red. If you're super sneaky, but my brain also thinks in terms of, like, multiplayer commander, so...
Yeah, but, I mean, they can just say, no, my hand is awesome, I'm good.
Yeah.
So...
In which case, you want to hit them with discard after that anyway, so...
Well, no, I mean, in which case, you just got to cast this card for cheaper with no drawback.
Yeah, this is kind of an odd one.
That's a hell of an if, though.
I mean,
Well,
you're not going to be playing this card against me every single time. You're going to be playing
is
this
true.
card against people who are like, oh no, I don't want to mess my hand up.
Oh, so Dirk.
Yes. Target Dirk with this. And then if he does decide, well, I guess I need to do it, and he draws something worse, he's going to blame you and kill you. You maybe discard my thing. I can talk trash about Dirk because he's not here, but I love him. So then there's the green one, which I also haven't read, but I just read a card. So, hey, Chewy, what's the green one do?
I don't know. I haven't found it yet.
A Verdant. It's literally the last.
It's literally the last card. Okay. I don't know why I clicked on that. Okay, so Fervent Mastery for 5 and a green is a sorcery. You may pay 3 and a green instead. Search your library for up to 4 basic land cards and reveal them. Put one of them onto the battlefield tapped under an opponent's control if the 3 and a green cost was paid. And put 2 of them onto the battlefield tapped under your control and the rest in your hand. Then shuffle. So, okay. You're ramping yourself for 2 and getting another guaranteed land in your hand and ramping your opponent for 1 for 4 mana. But because it's a sorcery, your opponent gets to take advantage of it first, which is always the problem with ramping everyone at the same rate.
And they're actually getting a land out of your deck.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like, here, I got you this land.
I mean, they have to be basic, so Mike can't give me a Sorrow's Path.
Yeah.
I mean, Chad just said play bad lands, but they're basic lands, so... Like, the only bad basic land is an island.
Yeah.
And why would you have those in your deck?
I mean, in Commander, maybe it's a land for a color that they can't use, but then it's still... Yeah, it's still a land. I like this more in Commander because, then you can pick someone that's maybe a little further behind, and you probably play this for 4 a lot of the time. It's the same cost as an explosive vegetation, but you also get to put a 3rd land into your hand.
Yeah, and if your plan is ramp, you're more concerned about making your big plays anyway.
Yeah.
Giving your opponent another land isn't going to put a snag in your game plan.
It's not great, but it's not. You're furthering yourself first. And if someone benefits a bit, it's incidental.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this one. This one does not make my head hurt. Oh my god, there's a card called Blade Historian.
What color is it?
Oh, it's in multicolored. But it's called Blade Historian. So literally, while you were studying whatever it is that you're studying in your other colleges, he was studying the blade. But for 4 white-red hybrid, it's a rare human cleric, a 2/3, that says attacking creatures you control have double strike. So, exactly. So that's pretty neat. I just saw Blade Historian and went, what? What else we got? Have we looked at the artifacts yet?
I know we talked about the book last time.
We talked about Cody last week, which is freaking bizarre. Oh, and the rest are common or uncommon.
Which is fine.
I have the feeling there was a neat one that I was going to point out.
What about the stadium?
Yeah, we talked about the stadium last week. I think that was right after you left.
I'm just going to scan it real quick while you guys keep on.
Was it the spell satchel, Mike? Because the spell satchel seems like a thing you'd appreciate.
Yeah, the spell satchel is Nifty. That's what it was.
It's like I know him.
Yeah, for 2 mana, it's an uncommon artifact. And it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, put a book counter on spell satchel. You can tap and remove a book counter from the satchel to add 1 colorless mana. You can also pay 3, tap, and remove 3 book counters from spell satchel to draw a card.
That seems neat, but I was also just finishing reading the Stadium. I did not read it at all last week. I didn't know it was a win condition. You can Quidditch your opponent to death.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, the satchel's pretty cool too.
Most of the rest of these are whatever. They're whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just commons and uncommons. They're good.
Yeah. Did we talk about the Biblioplex? The land? I don't
think we did.
Bells.
I don't think it was revealed last week.
So it's a rare land that taps for colorless mana, and you pay 2 and tap to look at the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you can reveal it, put it into your hand, and if you don't put the card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. But you activate this whole ability only if you have exactly 0 or 7 cards in hand. What?
Is that like a Library of Alexandria reference?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a very non-silly Library of Alexandria.
I mean, it's silly, but in a different way.
Yeah, it's in a different way.
So if you have a full or empty hand, you look at a card, and if it's an instant or sorcery, you can reveal it and put it into your hand. But if not, it goes to your graveyard. Yes. Whether you want to reveal it or not, you're going to reveal it because it's going to the graveyard.
If you don't put the card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard.
Yeah, so if you choose not to put that instant or sorcery in, is the reason it's worded that way. If you choose not to put that instant or sorcery in your hand, it goes to the graveyard anyway.
Well, no, you may put the card into your graveyard. You have a choice. It's not required that you put it into your graveyard if you don't put it into your hand.
Oh, so you could leave it on top?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
For whatever reason.
I mean, you can leave it on top even if it is an instant or sorcery card. If you just don't want the opponent to know about it.
That wording is weird.
Maybe if you're playing a Miracles deck.
Shut up.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. The wording on that is very strange. But it makes sense now.
Like if it's a creature you really want, you can just be like, "Oh, I'm cool with drawing that next turn." If it's an artifact you don't want right now, you just be like, "No," and put in the graveyard.
Yeah, or like your 9th land, and you really want to draw something that's not a land.
Yeah, if you're looking to draw gas and it's a land, to the graveyard with you.
Yep.
Yeah. Or if it's a disenchant that you really don't need right now, throw it in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
I dig it.
To the graveyard with you.
Uh-oh.
How many people? This is a common. How many people are going to misread Excavated Wall, especially like at the pre-release if they're going to one?
So many people.
So many people, right, Mike? What's it do?
So it's a 0/4 wall for 1 mana. It has Defender. Pay 1 and tap, mill a card.
So I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to pass to you, and then my turn's going to come along, and I'm going to be like, "Hey, Mike, mill a card," and you're going to be like,
"No."
It even says it in the reminder text. Put the top card of your library into your. That's the way that mill works.
Yeah.
Yep. And I just have a feeling.
Yes. And for the people who misread this on Arena, they'll find out the first time they activate it, and they're going to be like, "What?"
Oops.
No, wait. Oh, damn it.
And your little dragon is going to go into your graveyard and be like,
Yeah. So this is meant to fuel your graveyard stuff. If you have a
Yeah.
deck
Yeah.
that likes that.
yeah. It's pretty slow, but it's a common, so
You guys,
yeah.
there's a Tree Folk
Mhm.
Warlock.
There's a Tree Folk Warlock.
Is.
Yeah, in multicolored. Witherbloom Pledge Mage. For 3 and 2 black green hybrid. It's a common 5/5 Tree Folk Warlock. And whenever Magecraft is gain 1 life.
I
But
like gain 1 life.
Gotta wonder what's going on with your life. That you're Tree Folk and you find yourself, warlocking one day. You just being a druid or a shaman just
look,
wasn't
don't
an
be
option.
warlock shaming. Not all tree folks are druids or shamans, Brian.
Guess that's a preconception I had. I
I
apologize.
mean, I had it too. It struck me as really weird. It's a tree folk warlock, and I don't even want to say those words together. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean that sounds almost as odd as, fungus beast.
Oh yeah, what does that thing do? What color was that?
It's in black, so the
It's
brackets.
pretty cool.
Well, what's it do? I haven't even read it yet. So
Okay, I haven't finished scrolling back up there. Just a second.
Brackish trudge.
Up.
What a
Yeah, brackish trudge. For 2 and a black, it's a 4/2 fungus beast that enters the battlefield tapped. It's uncommon, by the way. So cheap 4/2 enters tapped. Also, pay 1 into black, return brackish trudge from your graveyard to your hand. Activate only if you gained life this turn.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, that is pretty neat.
Yeah. You just don't usually see a fungus beast, that's all.
Most trudges are covered with decaying plant matter, making them ideal breeding grounds for fungal spores. So a trudge is what this is this breed of animal. Are there any other trudges?
I guess so.
There are not. Okay.
Good question.
Or at least not in the name of the card. There aren't, because I just control left. What a strange animal. And it's a fungus beast. Okay.
Oh, while we're up there, I just noticed a little earlier during the discussion that eye twitch is an eye bat.
Okay, I blinked out for a second there. So
that is bizarre as hell.
So what card are you talking about?
Eye twitch.
Eye twitch. It's an eye bat. It has the eye creature type, so you can put it in your Evil Eye of Ormspygord deck.
Is it in black?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I noticed this one.
That is so cool. So for a single black, it's a 1/1 flying eye bat. Not like iPad. No. And when it dies, you learn. I'm sorry, when it dies, learn!
Oh, the flavor text.
Oculomancers see the ideal potion ingredient. The bats don't see it that way. Aw, that's sad.
It is sad.
He's awful cute in a disgusting kind of way, though.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of card names, how on earth have we not done this before? There's a card in blue called Reject.
Are you serious? We've never had reject or reject?
I am.
Ooh, there we go. Reject is a verb. And no. Other way around.
Other way.
Yeah, reject is a noun and reject is a verb. This is a conversation that we had last week or the week before, not during the show, I don't think.
It was last week, and it was research.
Oh yeah, because I said
research?
research, and Brian was like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
But yeah, reject is one of those where this guy is a reject, but the card is reject.
Yeah. This poor guy has a big X on his. So for 1 and a blue, it's a common instant. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 3. If that spell is countered this way, exile instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Simple enough. The flavor text is Grux for the last time. You have to do more than simply shout apply at the end. I'm sorry, I was reading it the first time. Then simply shout apply at the administrators. I love it. It's so simple, but oh, dear me. What does multiple choice do? I've started to read it like 3 times and I've stopped. So
yeah, Mike, what does multiple choice do?
So multiple choice. For X and a blue, it's a rare sorcery. If X is 1, scry 1, then draw a card. Okay. If X is 2, you may choose a player. They return a creature they control to its owner's hand. Not great. If X is 3, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. That's more fair trade for the mana. If X is 4 or more, do all of the above.
That's pretty sick.
why would you do more than 4?
For some effect that likes to convert the mana cost of the spells you cast? I don't know.
The mana value? Yeah. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Because your opponent has out a thing where they can counter things that cost 5 or less. I don't know.
So for 5 mana, I don't think this is super expensive for 5 mana. You scry 1 and draw a card, and they have to bounce something, and you get a token. So, I mean, it seems pretty good.
Yeah. For 5 mana, getting a 4/4 and scry and draw a card is fine, and then the 2 part is just neat.
Yeah.
Like, it says choose a player, so if there's something on the battlefield that you really want to rescue before something bad happens, you can bounce it.
Yep.
Or just make your opponent pick up their thing so they have one less thing on the board so you can to block.
Like that thing with hexproof.
Yeah, that freaking thing.
Yeah.
So,
there's
going back to reject real quick, are they leaning real heavily on exiling things these days, or is it just me?
They've certainly.
They feel like there's more in this set because there's a heavy graveyard component in this set.
There is?
It feels like there's a heavier graveyard component in this set.
So the set is based on sorceries and instants for the most part, right? So in that and sorceries and instants by nature, when you play them, go to the graveyard. I know this is common sense, but just bear with me. So, as opposed to a set where anything else is the focus, sorceries and instants never go to the battlefield. They're either in your hand, in your deck, or in the graveyard, generally speaking. So, because of that, there's only so many ways to interact with them. There's only so many ways to get them back or to reuse them. So you might see other effects that, like we've seen, return them, like with the statue spirit thing. And so this is a way to deal with that, maybe. Also to stop them from being copied from the graveyard or anything like that. I do agree, though, with Chewy. It does feel like now that they've explored design space with exile, I feel like we are seeing more of it.
Yeah, like not just on reject, but on removal spells and all kinds of things. It's all and exile that if that happens. Like, oh,
I mean, the Black Mastery, the Baleful Mastery, exiles a creature or planeswalker for
yeah,
really low cost. So, and that's just one example.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe they're working ahead too. What's the next set? Is the next set the D and
The
D set
next
or
set
something?
is the
D&D
Forgotten
set,
Realms
yeah.
set. Yeah.
Okay. And isn't there also another Innistrad set coming up after that?
There's two, werewolves and vampires.
Okay. So they might be working ahead a bit with some of the graveyard hate and exiling, because there's some other graveyard hate in this set too.
Chat. So, person in chat said that the eye twitch's eye isn't its eye, but no, it totally is.
Like, are they thinking that it was another eye that was grafted onto it?
Or maybe thinking that
mouth.
it had an eye in its mouth or something, but no, that's totally an eye on the bat's face.
There's a card called Snow Day.
Yeah, there are so many good, like, school pun names, like Flunk, Go Blank,
Yeah.
Snow Day,
Pop quiz.
Pop Quiz, Multiple Choice, Solve the Equation.
Expel.
Like,
Yeah.
I would think that this was a Hearthstone set, honestly. Just on some of these names.
I honestly kind of like the attitude here, just the overall ambiance,
Hall
because
monitor.
it's still like, okay, it might be the end of the world or whatever, but I love the fact that we're so immersed in this school, and it's not just like, oh look, things are going to kill you. It's more about this particular environment, and I think this is awesome.
Yeah. Bookworm.
Yeah. There's a card called Dramatic Finale, and
There's a card called Field Trip.
And I'm using this as an example because it's basically an anthem effect for 4 white-black hybrids. It's an enchantment. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1, and whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, create a 2/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn to keep it from going crazy. My point being here, first of all, yes, this is a pretty awesome card, and I love the fact that it allows you to play with a bunch of different token types, not just necessarily inklings. But in another set, the anthem effect would be, I don't know, some warrior raising their sword or some dramatic moment. And here it's the end of the school play. And that's cool. That fits this so well.
It really is. It's a cool card, too.
Yeah. But so you can have these effects, but fit them here. Did you see Double Major? It's pretty cool.
I didn't see what it did, but I saw that there was a card called Double Major. Yeah.
Well, you should read it.
For a green and a blue, it's a rare instant that says copy target creature spell you control, except it isn't legendary if the spell is legendary. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're copying a creature spell. Okay, I was like, that doesn't make any... Okay, I missed that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, again, several different ways to do this effect, but with the setting, making it double major just works perfectly.
Yeah, I really love the... how they've worked the flavor into it. Like, there's a Quandrix card called Golden Ratio, for God's sake.
I'm not sure what that is a reference to, because I'm not a math person, but
It's a math thing.
I've figured.
Yeah, I can't rattle off the definition off the top of my head anymore.
Yeah, it's better that way. It's Okay to Be Smart did a video not too long ago about it. About the golden ratio and how it doesn't actually appear in nature as much as people seem to say it does. Which made me happy because That bothers me. Okay, so there's one more card that I want to read just because of its name.
Okay.
Conspiracy Theorist in red. For 1 in a
Wait,
red,
this
it's a
guy's kind
2/2.
of crazy.
Right? It's a 2/2 rare human shaman. And when it attacks, you can pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile 1 of them from your graveyard. And if you do, you may cast it this turn. So that's to his effect or not. I'm not sure where the conspiracy theorist flavor comes from.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the effect is neat because you can loot, or not loot. What's it? Rummage. And if you want, there's something you don't want to discard this, but you really want to play it this turn. You still can.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
Yeah, I don't know what the flavor is either, but oh, we haven't talked about the Paulo card, the
What?
champion thing or whatever he is these days.
What?
The world champion card.
What?
Oh, yeah.
The
Which one is it?
elite spellbinder.
Color?
It's white. So, the elite spellbinder is a human cleric. It's rare. For 2 and a white is a 3/1 with flying. When elite spellbinder enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. But what if it costs 2 more? And it was made in the likeness of Paulo Victor.
Paulo Vitor Damaderosa.
Thank you. I was just going to do a terrible job. So,
Or PVDDR. I
yes.
completely forgot they were putting world champions on cards now, which is amazing. But I had completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is just his likeness. It's not one that he had design input on.
I
he
think that's
might
right,
have.
but I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. I'm sure someone will correct this.
Or they won't. Whatever.
It's the internet. I'm sure somebody will say we're right and somebody will say we're wrong.
But this card is really cool because you're not taking something away from an opponent permanently. You're just making it harder on them.
And
Mm-hmm.
and unlike some of them, like the freebooter, killing this guy doesn't get it back for you. But it's a 3/1 with flying, so you want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we mention Mavinda? There's this white mythic here.
Not yet.
I don't think we did.
How did we miss that earlier?
Just other stuff to talk about. It's
Probably.
pretty crazy. It's a mythic. Wow, we really didn't cover that, did we? Okay. What to do?
I don't know. Mavinda, Student's Advocate for 2 and a white, is a 2/3 legendary bird advisor.
They're the nice teacher everybody wants to have.
Not that they advise birds, but they are a bird who advises.
Yes.
Although I'm sure she advises birds too.
Probably.
Then she'd be a bird advisor. Anyway.
Would that be a bird advisor?
There we go. Sorry, bird advisor. Yes, I screwed that up. Thank you, Mike.
Bird's the word.
Ooh, mow. Okay, so 2/3 with flying for 0 mana. That is the cost. 0 mana. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. Which is nuts. But wait, there's more. If that spell doesn't target a creature you control. It costs 8 more to cast this way. And then if that spell would be put into your graveyard, exile it. Instead, activate only once each turn. So this is for buffs.
Yes.
Yeah. First time I read this, I, of course, completely misunderstood. I'm like, oh, you get the card for free. You don't get the card for free. It just doesn't cost anything to activate this ability.
Yeah. But if you're trying to use this last ditch to cast murder on an opponent's creature, well, that's going to cost you 11.
Yeah. For
Trust
going
me, there
back
have been times when I would have paid 20 just to kill that one creature that was about to make me lose.
Well,
so
yeah.
if you are willing to pay 2 for Baleful Mastery to exile their creature planeswalker and let them draw a card, would you be willing to pay 10?
I mean, willing, possibly. Able?
I mean, if you have 10 but you don't have 12, well. Now this doesn't say anything about. Oh, never mind. It does. It's getting late, and I almost was like, oh, you can keep. No, you can't. So forget I almost said anything.
Once a turn.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, not just your turn, also during other people's turns.
That's
true.
So yeah, this is a very niche card, but it's very powerful in that deck. Because what's the worst thing about buff spells, like in creature enchantments especially? Well, that doesn't matter because this doesn't get creature enchantments. But for buff spells, is you've invested your creature and then another spell into it, and then it just dies, and so now you've got that. You've essentially wasted that spell. But Mavinda lets you reuse that spell on a more different creature. Or in the extreme late game, lets you murder things wantonly using spells from the graveyard.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Minecraft pointed out in the chat that you could use something like Run Away Together to bounce one of your creatures and one of their creatures and not having to pay the extra tax. And that made me think of Humiliate. You could use Humiliate since, you're targeting one of your creatures for the +1/+1 counter.
Oh!
And you won't have to pay the extra tax.
So
there's some opportunities here.
Yeah, my brain got hung up. When you said run away together, bounce yours in theirs without paying the extra tax. I was like, no, it's part of the ability. You have to pay the extra tax. Run away together does target one of your creatures and one of their creatures. So that's why you don't have to pay the tax. To explain that further for people like me who didn't get it right off the bat. And yeah, Humiliate, not in the... I'm trying to do a Control F in the damn chat. Control F, Humiliate. Target opponent reveals their hand. That player discards a card. Put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. No.
Oh, I didn't read that. My fault.
Sadly, Humiliate doesn't target. I went down here to read it and be like, yeah, no.
My bad.
That's weird that doesn't target the... I guess
Humiliate does that so you can play it without having a creature on the board.
And also, in case you can't know. Yeah, just what you said. Never mind. Forget I was about to say anything.
Okay, already done.
There's so much neat stuff going on here.
I don't think I like what's happening on Unwilling Ingredient in black. It makes me uncomfortable. Oh, and that's a frog. I totally missed that was creature type frog because I didn't know even what I was looking at. Is this the frog that's like dissected in biology?
Possibly.
And kind of like we were saying about the names. I mean, a lot of the names here are great, but Unwilling Ingredient. Like,
on
how
a
many
creature.
things are How many things are willing to be ingredients, really? Like, unwilling experiment, I get unwilling participant, but unwilling ingredient, raise your hand if you're okay with being an ingredient. I don't get it. So the card is very straightforward. It's kind of a neat card. For a single black, it's a 1/1 frog. It's common. It has built-in menace, so that's kind of cool. And then after it dies, you can pay 2 and a black and exile it from your graveyard to draw a card and lose 1 life. I guess because it tastes nasty.
So after it dies, it's because you've put it in your potion.
I guess.
That's funny.
But then the flavor text says, "Don't look at me like that. It was either this or being eaten by a Groff." By Dina, Weatherbloom mage student. But what? It was either get eaten by them or get eaten by me? And
I get it. It's giving her a dirty look, so it has menace.
Maybe.
I like this card. Although, yeah, it is very disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. There was a shaman. Shut up, Chewy. There's a phoenix we didn't talk about. We always have to talk about a phoenix. The Retriever Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, what's to do, Mike? You're so smart.
So for 3 and a red, it's a 2/2 rare phoenix with flying and haste, and it has, one of the set mechanics on it. When Retriever Phoenix enters the battlefield, if you cast it, learn. And as long as Retriever Phoenix is in your graveyard, if you would learn, you may instead return Retriever Phoenix to the battlefield.
That's so cool that it gives you something to do with learn if you're not actually going to learn.
Yeah.
And copies you draw later, you can do a little Demigod of Revenge impression with them.
And Demigod of Revenge is a pretty sweet card. So.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's much larger, but still.
I mean, I'd pay 4 to get multiple 2/2s with flying and haste. I'm fine with that, yeah. It's just, like, learn is completely worthless if you don't have, like, lessons in your... that aren't in your deck. It's so weird to have an ability like this.
That's why they give you the option of, if you don't go get a lesson, you can discard a card and draw a card instead.
I completely forgot about that, even though it says it in here on the reminder text right here. So, yeah, I completely forgot about that. But you're correct. So it's not completely useless if you don't have lessons. I just can't read cards. But if you don't have lessons and you don't have cards you want to discard, you can always get a 2/2 back, which I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a card called Start from Scratch. That's nice. Huh. But I get the feeling we're running out of steam here, so should we call it for the night?
Yeah, I think I'm good with that.
But so there's just a lot of good stuff going on here. That is there's a Rhino Druid. Huh. There's a plant wall. Oh my god, there's a squirrel.
There's a squirrel?
Oh, look, it's the squirrels from UNCG. Because they're evil.
What card is this? I know we're done, but what card is this?
The Scurrid Colony in green. SCU. For 1 and a green, it's a 2/2 common squirrel with reach. And it gets +2/+2 as long as you control 8 or more lands. But look,
wow,
it's clearly an evil squirrel, just like the squirrels on our campus years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just scrolling through and saw that and went, what? Because these squirrels are the things of nightmares. But okay, let's call it for the night then. We talked about a lot of cool stuff.
We did.
There's a card called Biomathematician. What? Stop that. Anyway. So, how about some final thoughts then, dorks?
So, for my final thoughts, this both magic and non-magic. For magic, the set looks awesome. I'm sorry, but I was still looking at the Scurried Colony, and next to it, there is a Bear Druid. But the Bear Druid is super dapper. And it's just like, okay, so I'm going to just close that so it's not, distracting me at all. But set looks awesome. I think the pre-releases for those that are holding them are next weekend. So I'm going to see if I can't pick up some pre-release packs, take them home to do with Sam, since we're not quite comfortable with how things are yet. But hopefully getting closer. And then for non-magic related news, Carrie and I have finally gotten around, after watching other shows, to watching Cobra Kai on Netflix.
Nice.
And we enjoyed the first season, and we are making our way through the second season, trying to get through it. And I'm hoping that it picks up again before the end, but it's not been as enjoyable in the second season. So just our experience. Mileage may vary, and I just know that other people had said, hey, we should check it out. So
I monstered through all 3 seasons in record time.
Wow.
So, yeah, because I dug all of it.
Okay. Well, and again, there have been certain parts of it we've enjoyed, but so we're hoping that we will kind of get back into it, but we're still going with it. So, and with that, gentlemen, if you guys are good, I'm gonna head out and catch some Z's. I kind of got a busy day tomorrow, so you guys be good, and I will talk at you later. And Mike, I'm gonna send an email about stuff scheduling, because I think we're gonna have an issue with the other thing on that other Saturday, so we'll figure it out. Okay. All right, you guys be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. All right.
All right, Mike, how about you?
Yeah, I just really don't have anything to contribute to final thoughts this time.
Dang it, man. Just nothing, huh?
No.
Not even rotisserie chicken?
It was very good rotisserie chicken. I don't know if they do this all over the country where they have locations, but Fresh Market here does $5 rotisserie chickens on Thursdays. So actually, and I have started doing that on most Thursdays. One of us will go to the grocery store and pick one of those up, and it's very good.
Nice. Well, I will do the Patreon thing real quick. So, hey, you can go to patreon.com/themanapool to become a lifeguard, which gets you early access to podcasts and YouTube videos, and the odds and ends, which I got 2 more odds and ends posted a couple days ago. And that's the behind-the-scenes nonsense that is before and after formerly both podcasts, back when we still had 2. Because, yes, I'm still catching up on Monday Night Magic. I'm up to July of last year, which is nice. But it's still a bummer to listen to us rant and rave about how horrible things are going even in July, not knowing how much worse things were going to get across the board, pretty much. So that's why these, I keep saying this every week, that's why these are very slow to come out, because I have to be in the right mindset to listen through them, to jot down the notes and remove personal information and all that good stuff. And it's really hard to listen to us be bummed out with the knowledge that we're not bummed out enough yet. You know what I mean? So apologies to everyone at the at that lifeguard tier, but it's not easy. Some weeks are better than others. Like I posted a Monday Night Magic and the Mana Pool episode a couple days ago, odds and ends. And the Monday Night Magic one was much easier to get through. And then we got to us, and it was like, oh. So, yeah. But you can also get the sponsorship shout out on the podcast and on the end screen for the YouTube videos. So I would like to thank those people in this order, whatever order this is. So I would like to thank ALK Alters. And it's Stan Megank. Megank. He didn't tell me how to pronounce his last name, but Stan. Connor Kennedy, Mr. Dr. Lewis, Jason Doan, Gothic Man, Jeff Spencer, Casey, Cody Buckowing, Aleph Cat, Andrew Hunt, Jason Kaus, The Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. It's not scrolling anymore because I hit the bottom. Violet Moon, PJ McMullen, Timu Hellas Haryu, Beardy Man, Jake Jansons, John Parker, Scuzzo, Kim Ho, and Al. Yay. Thank you all so very much for your support, and to all of our lifeguards at every tier, and everyone who just watches or comments or whatever. We appreciate you. And let's see, what else? Oh, so over on YouTube, I finally finished Shovel Knight, King of Cards. So that entire series is up now. So now I've got all 4 Shovel Knight campaign playthroughs in their entirety on YouTube. There's even one playlist that covers them all. I should really make a Shovel of Hope playlist since I have the other 3 by themselves. I'll have to do that. But I love that game so much, and I'm not done with it yet because apparently Beatdown, which is another mode inside Shovel Knight, has a story mode. So at some point I'll have to go back and do that, and then I'll be done with it. But I'm done with all the campaigns, and they're so good. But that's up on YouTube in its entirety now, and I'm very happy about that. I'm working on... So on Fridays, I do Final Fantasy Fridays here on twitch.tv/themanapool. And I'm currently playing through the first Final Fantasy, the PSP version. And I just got up another video from that. I'm taking the entire stream and like condensing them down into like 2 videos. So the one that just went up, which by the time you listen to this, it's been public for a couple days. It covers making the Western Passage and cleaning out the rot, the decay of the earth. So we're beating the vampire and lich. And then I went into one of the bonus dungeons and got confused for a while and then got murdered. Because I've never been in a bonus dungeon before. And I went, I don't know what to expect. Let's go in. And it was lots of wandering around. Like I said, this all gets condensed down hard. Like what I just told you is like a 40-ish minute video. But it was like 4 hours of streaming. So you're just getting the story highlights and like the loot and the good bits. So anytime something funny happens, I have a tendency to get punched by earth elementals and take a lot of damage and then make a sound. And Mike, we got to get you some better equipment, bruh. Because like earth elementals keep punching you for like 120 and then I'd go, oh, every time.
Gosh.
So yeah, the next video to go up will be where I take on the Fiend of Fire, and maybe, depending on how long it's going, when I get the airship. So yeah. it's a lot of fun to take these giant streams and just cut them down to the best bits. So yeah, that's what's going up on YouTube. That's also what's going on over on YouTube right now. As for streaming, I've been streaming all kinds of stuff. I streamed Pizza Titan Ultra on whatever day that was, Monday, where you are a 10-story pizza store and delivery robot. Yes, I said 10-story. And you do missions and deliver pizzas to various references. There was a reference to Captain Planet, a reference to Captain N the Game Master, a reference to Parappa the Rapper, a reference to Magic the Gathering, which completely caught me by surprise. And yeah, it's a trip. And the game is actually a lot of fun. So I enjoyed it. I'll be streaming more of that at some point. I play Hades and Slay the Spire. And I'm going to be doing some more retro gaming of some sort. Because I have so many, there's so many retro games that you could just sit down and play that won't take, multiple streams that I could just play through. Shoot 'em ups and beat 'em ups and platformers from the NES days and whatnot. And I want to do more of that without worrying about YouTube content, because YouTube sucks. So I'm going to be doing a lot more just streaming random nonsense because it looks like fun, and or I want you guys to see me suffer. Same thing. So yeah. It's all good. And I'm very excited for all of this retro game streaming, because I've been playing games since the NES when I was like 6-ish, something like that. And there's so many wonderful games out there that I want to share with you all, and so many games that I never played that I want to share with you all, and so many bizarre games that I want to play. Like a few weeks ago, I played through the Superman NES game, which is not good, but it's not bad. It's freaking weird. And that was a lot of fun. But it was freaking weird. So yay. And that's that. But with that, I've got to get back to Doom. I keep forgetting about Doom because I've got so much other stuff going on, but I'm going to get back. I got to start Doom 2. Because it's April, and I've only played through one Doom game, and I wanted to play through all the Doom games, and whoops. I don't know if that's getting finished this year. But anyway, so with that, I will shut up now. So this has been the Mana Pool number 619. Oh, one more thing. Happy Rex Manning Day, everybody. Because we're recording this on April 8th, which is Rex Manning Day. And if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, you should watch Empire Records. It is currently streaming for free on Tubi, Tubi. But yeah, April 8th is Rex Manning Day. And what bad could possibly happen on Rex Manning Day, right? But anyway. But now with that, we will be done with episode 619 of the Mana Pool. Thank you all so very much for joining us. And, no, I got nothing. I guess go play some Magic. Why not?